Hey, come on in. Let's get cooking. Today we're gonna be making some stuffed pork chops for you. I loved this dish in the fall. My father would make it for me every year and multiple times a year at that. We would usually use prosciutto and Munster, although I've used Gouda, I've used provolone, I've used other cheeses as well. So you choose what you'd like to do. I'm gonna start with a double bone chop. I love these double bone chops because I feel like they're super meaty. You get a lot of nice flavor from the double bone and it looks really nice on the plate. I marinated this in a brown butter marinade overnight. And I rinsed it off this morning and it is just perfect and tender.
Every family outing we have, Gabriella makes these stuffed pork chops and people go nuts for them. We've done them here at the restaurant, but today we're bringing it back. So
what I want to do is make an incision right below the bone, leaving some of that meat intact between the bone and the eye, if you will. I'm gonna cut it open about yay far just to make sure that all of the stuffing doesn't ooze out the sides. Because remember, this is gonna be really cheesy.
That's always a bad day whenever you stuff a pork chop and all the pork chop stuffing ends up everywhere else but inside the pork chop.
Okay, so I'm gonna use the point of my knife to really get in there and make a more depthy crevice in there while not making the incision any larger. Perfect. Now let's add our prosciutto. Stuff it right in there. I like to tear up my Munster cheese and put it in there in kind of segments so you get a nice even amount of cheese in there.
This Munster is delicious, man.
It really is. But I love Munster cheese because it's just the right amount of pungent and creamy. And there we go. I mean, who doesn't love pork and pork, right? So it looks like I'm filled up pretty much all the way here.
Come on, you can fit one more piece of cheese in there.
All right, I think I can. Let's see. There we go. If it oozes out, it's on you. And there we go. It's nice and filled in there. I don't have stuffing really coming out. You always want to season your meat before you bread it.
That's a simple trick that you guys can really do at home. You want to season your breading, season your egg wash.
So now I'm going to do a 3-step bread procedure. Some eggs. And I like to do milk, especially if I'm doing multiple chops, because cream sometimes thickens up a little too much and then it becomes unusable and I feel like you waste a lot more. So I'm whisking this up, getting my egg yolks nice and broken up. Make a mess. If you don't, then you're doing something wrong. I feel like that's become our thing. Thank you, honey. I season my egg wash as well. Whoops, we have a fan on. So I'm gonna take my first step and we're gonna dredge in flour. That's why they call it 3-step. And my last step is Italian breadcrumb and panko because the Italian breadcrumb brings a nice seasoning and a nice taste, obviously, and the panko brings a nice texture.
And one thing you really want to keep in mind when you're doing your breading is keeping that one hand pretty dry, okay, and the other hand wet. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a lot of clumps in your breading and it's not going to be pretty. So
see here, I see opportunity to maybe just French my bone a little bit even more. You can do that. It's all up to what your style is. I like to kind of really push that down so you get that nice dramatic French bone at the end. And then we go into our egg wash.
And sometimes you might even want to do a double breading on the side of the chop just to kind of really secure that stuffing in there.
Yeah.
We'll show you guys how we're going to do that as well.
All right, that looks about good enough for me. And then now I'm going to go into my panko. And notice how I flip and then I pack it. You want to get all of the little grooves of the pork chop and make sure you have everything covered here. Beautiful. How do you think it looks, babe?
I think it looks pretty good.
All right.
Are you sure that stuffing's not going to fall out? Let me see.
I'm pretty confident at this point. All right, so I'm gonna get this frying and put it in 350-degree oil, 1 to 2 minutes each side to get nice and golden brown, and then we'll pop it in the oven at 400 degrees for about 15 to 20 minutes. Until then, it's gnocchi time.
All right, so we are gonna make some gnocchi. Everybody repeat after me. These hands make magic. All right, so we're gonna make this happen right now before your eyes. Chops frying. So we have some sweet potatoes here. Basically what we've done is we've cooked them and boiled them. They took about 10 to 12 minutes, okay? You wanna make sure that they are knife or fork tender, meaning that they should fall off your knife as you do it.
Those look delicious.
First, we're gonna situate the bottom half of our gnocchi, which is going to be a little bit of ricotta.
That's his trusty spoon. He doesn't keep it in his pocket 24/7, so don't worry.
Hey, you always
that.
gotta keep a spoon in your pocket. You never know. You never know.
I love our gnocchi here at Testa Bar. It's really nice and light. They're beautiful, delicate pillows of goodness. We do use mascarpone to kind of like cut through that
Little
ricotta.
mascarpone.
That's the secret recipe. Don't tell anybody.
It's not a secret anymore, babe. All right, we have mascarpone and the ricotta. Also, what I like to use is to add my garlic to it. Adds a little bit of depth as well. This is roasted garlic that I've blended into a paste. Okay, so roasted garlic goes in there. And then as far as the eggs, I like to use just 1 egg per pound of potato. So generally I have about 6 pounds of potatoes here. So I'm gonna start out with 5 eggs. I can always add another one. I can't take it away once it's in there.
I love how gnocchi can be as simple or as complex as you want to make it. So this gnocchi, because it is a sweet potato, because we're doing it in this application, we're adding a lot of good flavor to that dough. Some gnocchi are better left just salt and pepper, a little nutmeg. That's what we do here at the restaurant for our gnocchi frito. And I think there's time for both.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
The fun thing with pasta is sometimes you just gotta freestyle. You know, you gotta adjust on the go. There might be rules, but you don't always have to go by them.
Freehand it here.
All right.
I got a little bit of brownness on the top, but that's okay. I mean, cooking is imperfect, and that's why it's so perfect.
For my spice mixture, I chose to do a little bit of allspice, a little bit of turmeric, a blend of sage, rosemary, thyme, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. All right, and I'm gonna leave a little bit here because I might need to add a little bit more seasoning. I'm gonna add a little bit of salt and pepper. And we're just gonna mix this part of our gnocchi up. Because whenever you go to mix it, you want this part to be all the way together so you don't end up with a little bit of lumpiness.
That looks delicious, honey.
Yeah. All you basic pumpkin spice lovers out here, well, no, we're not gonna put any pumpkin spice in there. So this right here is a food mill, okay? It has different settings. The finer you set it, the better. So our potatoes are a little bit warm. They're best done when they're hot. It helps it just go right through the miller. Gabriella, crank that, crank that. Let's see what you got. See some muscles.
And if you boil them correctly, they should mill just easily.
Let's hope I did.
So here I am milling my potatoes. One of the many things we have to do every day to make all of the fresh pasta we make here. Gnocchi is one of the things we make, ravioli.
Here at Testa Bar, we make everything in-house, okay?
Hold on, I'm getting a little wild here.
Here at Testa Bar, we make a lot of different noodles, okay? A lot of different pastas. We make our own lasagna. As you can see, we're making our gnocchi today. Other than that, we probably combined with bread and pasta, we're making about 1,000 pounds of dough a week.
You need a little extra elbow grease at the end of the day.
That's right. You want to make sure you're kind of scraping all the potato from the mill. Gabriella's doing a great job at that.
Thanks. I've never done this before.
Now that we have the bowl combined with the potatoes, the ricotta, the mascarpone, the spices, Parmesano, we're gonna add some flour. Go ahead and add some flour in here. And we're gonna mix that in really good. Get it all over yourself. That is a little bit of durum wheat. Yeah, we're gonna start with a little bit of semolina flour as well. Semolina is used for dusting too. I do think it creates a nice little texture in the dough as well.
I do too. We actually use it for our other pastas as well. That is our blend of flour. If you've watched any of our videos, you know that's what we stick to every time.
And like I said, you're just gonna keep on adding a little bit more as you go. And you just kind of want to knead this together until you can knead it into a nice ball, kneading it back and forth. And you just want to do it until you've picked up all that flour and you have a nice firm ball. Go ahead, Gabby. I'll take it all. All right. One thing though you want to do is you kind of want to be gentle and you don't want to overwork the potato. It can become gummy and unpleasant to the palate.
This is especially apparent when you're using a russet potato or Yukon Gold potato. A sweet potato has a lot less starch than those potatoes, which is why you're gonna really be conscious of using more flour than maybe you would for a chef's potato.
What we have here is a ball of gnocchi that we have ready. Now that my hands are full of dough.
Let's go grab that smell-o-vision. So the sauce we're gonna pair with this dish is called sauce charcutiere. It is a compound sauce of a base of a sauce Robert, and it is delicious, and it has Cornichon pickles in it and mustard, and these are two things that I like very much. So I'm gonna start with mincing my cipollini onions. My onions are gonna be rough chopped because I'm gonna strain this sauce anyway before I add my pickles.
Cipollinis are a little bit sweeter, a little bit more mild in flavor. I love using them for sauces and stuff like that, for jams.
Definitely a hot pan there. Perfect, that's what you wanna hear. This sauce is gonna be a little more depthy and dark, so you wanna make sure you have some really nice caramelization on your onions.
Just throw in these bay leaves, get a little aromatics going.
Perfect. Typically, obviously, we would be on an open flame, so it'd be a little bit more easy to control, I feel like anyway. Add a little more oil. Let's get this going. Now I'm going to let these get a little darker, and then we're gonna reduce with actually white wine. I wanna reduce by 1/4, and then I'll add the rest of my ingredients. You smell some beautiful aromatics going on in there. The onions are really just bursting with flavor. The bay leaf is working hard.
With family, every time somebody would get the bay leaf in their dish, we call it a lucky.
Okay, so it's looking like we're reduced by 1/4. Now I'm going to add my demi. And you see the color start to develop. The sauce starts to thicken. Honey, can you hit me with a little dash of that Worcestershire?
Yep.
I actually add a little bit of Worcestershire in mine too. That's good, not too much. This is thickening up nicely. I smell a lot of depth in there. Let's see, how does it taste? Really good? Awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna add my Dijon mustard now. If you like a little more, add a little more. I do. Especially with pork, I think mustard goes really well.
You know, I was not a mustard guy when I met this girl, and
did I turn you into a mustard guy?
I'm a little bit of a mustard guy now.
Now I'm going to strain.
Just getting rid of the onions and the bay leaf.
I am going to add my butter. Whisk that in with the residual heat of the sauce. It's going to melt the butter and become super delicious and rich. Our beautiful gherkin or Cornichon pickles. And let's taste it, honey.
And these are so good. I love these.
You got another spoon in there?
I do. Other side. Spoon pocket.
Oh, and there's another spoon in there. I'm gonna have to see how many more are in there later. Oh my God.
It's pretty good. Or really freaking good. The sauce is
incredible.
Very good, very good.
This is why I live with him. All right, let's get plating.
What about gnocchi?
Oh, let's get rolling gnocchi.
You know, one thing that's great when you're cooking with your wife, she's got the sauce, she's got the meat, I got the starch. We come together, we make something beautiful. So, all right. So our dough, our gnocchi dough has been resting for a little bit now. I usually allow like 30 minutes or so. And again, this is a little bit more moist of a dough. So you're gonna need a decent amount of flour for dusting.
Why are you using the semolina?
Semolina is really, really good for dusting. Here, look at babe. I love you.
Cute.
All right.
That looks really nice. It's firm.
Firm, but a little bit of soft too. So we didn't want to overwork it. Now, what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our bench scraper and we're gonna cut it into sections, okay? There we go. Section here, section there. All right, this is about all we'll need. Now that we've cut our gnocchi ball into sections, we are going to roll it, which make sure you got enough elbow room because you're gonna need it. All right, we're gonna roll, roll, roll. All right, we're gonna cut the ends off here.
You wanna make a rope about an inch and a half thick. So by the time you cut them, they're really nice, beautiful pillows that aren't too big and not too small.
And you know you made your gnocchi a nice consistency when you can roll this and it's not sticking to the table. That's something that's key as well. Sorry, babe, I'm a hockey player, but elbows are always high.
I was more of a basketball player. I'll take you out at the knees, really.
I always went for the knees too. Anyways, so now we have our 2 logs of gnocchis, and we are going to cut them into nice little square pieces.
So when we first opened up Testabara, I actually used to make orecchiette style gnocchi. So,
Which means
little ears. So you like take your gnocchi and you just make a nice little thumbprint there. And it makes these kind of like gnocchi coins, and they were so delicious. But we decided to go a more traditional route.
So that's one way to do it. The next way to do it, which we can add these beautiful ridges, is we're just gonna kind of take that wet side of the gnocchi and just roll it down. Okay, now you end up with these beautiful little
Caterpillars.
caterpillars, yeah.
Don't press down too much, otherwise your gnocchi will start disintegrating and rubbing off against the plank.
And this is just so fun, you know, this extra step adds a really great texture, and it also catches any little bit of sauce.
All right, while he's doing that, we're going to get some water boiling, and we'll be back with some boiled gnocchi and some beautiful pork chop.
You never want to crowd your baskets too much. And what we're doing now is we have our gnocchi in the boiler, and we're just gonna wait until they float.
Beautiful, that's good.
Yeah, these came out pretty good.
You did. Oh, that's
All right, we have our gnocchi fresh from the boiler. They all floated up.
which is always a good sign.
They floated up, everybody floats up. And now we are going to begin to get a sear on these. So we're gonna end up with Gabriella's favorite ingredient, butter.
Yum.
You know, they say that Gabriella was once found as a child eating a stick of butter.
Why do you say they say like it's like
say.
drunk history or something?
I mean, it's true. So yes, we're actually gonna do a little bit of sage as well. This is fresh sage I just picked from the garden moments ago. And Gabriella is browning our butter. We're gonna add some sage in there.
This looks beautiful. It smells beautiful. There's a lot of great things going on in this plate right now.
It smells like Christmas.
And I like to season my butter prior. You know you're gonna have to, so why not?
Now, again, we're waiting for these leaves to kind of fry up a little bit. They're gonna flavor that butter with that sage aroma. And we want our pan to be hot enough to create a barrier so our gnocchi doesn't stick to the pan. So.
Too hot, they'll scorch and fall apart. Too cool, they'll stick to the pan. So let me see. Perfect. Delicious.
I boiled them a little bit under, so that way we're gonna fry it up and finish the rest of the cooking of the gnocchi in the butter. All right, so in goes the gnocchi. And now we're just gonna let those fry up really nice. And now we wait for the gnocchi to sear. All right, so we're trying to get a golden brown sear on these gnocchis. It's really gonna kind of bring out some of that color of the potato.
Do you want a little bit of house seasoning, honey?
Yeah, a little bit of seasoning will be nice.
All right, those look f***ing awesome.
Gonna throw in some fresh thyme as well.
Ooh, it's so fresh, it's popping at you.
Yeah, a little bit of that moisture from the gnocchi is kind of coming out.
All of our herbs right now are fresh from our garden, and they're just so magical.
Ooh, we got some golden brown here. Beautiful. How does it like it?
It's gonna be hot.
Burning hot.
Woo.
Nice.
Very nice. I think it could use a little bit more salt and pepper. Boom. Magnifique. All right, let's plate it.
Let's do it. Now you have it. You have a perfect dish to bring in fall. A sweet potato gnocchi with a stuffed pork chop with Munster and prosciutto. I really hope you guys enjoy this recipe and enjoy it with your family or your loved ones. Thank you so much. And now, if you don't mind, we're gonna eat.
All right, get out of here. We gotta finish this meal.
Fugazi. Oh. Oh my God. Well, another day in marriage with your wife. You can cook. Yeah, we're done. I don't know what to do with my hands.
Lots of beautiful fall flavor.
Gabby, how do you feel it's going?
Great. Super good. Damn, that is a good gnocchi. Where's the rest of it?
I told you, bro. I ate it.
This is sticking.
Did you guys get some good close-ups on this bad boy?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Put more spoons in my pocket, you know. All right, move this damn butter.
I love my little porky chop.
I am going to piss my pants.
I love you.
I love you too.